Today he leads the Bucks against the Bulls.
The NBA on CBS. Today's show is sponsored by the Miller Brewing Company, brewers of Miller High Life. If you've got the time, we've got the beer. All the new 1978 Chevrolets, now at your Chevy dealers everywhere. And by Alcoa, the producer of energy-saving aluminum.
This is the Milwaukee Arena, the home of the Milwaukee Bucks, where today the Bucks play host to the Chicago Bulls, and this is the third meeting of the year between these two clubs, and they split on the previous two occasions. Hi, everybody. I'm Gary Bender, and alongside me, former NBA All-Star and 8-year veteran of the Milwaukee Bucks, John McLaughlin. John, I'll tell you, the Bulls and Bucks, what an intense tradition they have.
Gary, it goes back some time, of course, back to the Jabbar era when he was here, and Dennis Autry playing with Chicago, and of course it continues today.
If you look at the Chicago Bulls, the key is Artis Gilmore. Now, how are the Bucks going to go against the 7'2" center?
Well, they've done a remarkable job on him, as great as he is, but today I think they might play him a little differently. They might go at him after he makes his move, try to double him up, rather than in the past they went at him a little earlier.
Now, the Chicago Bulls come in here. They have a 5-game winning streak. The Bucks, on the other hand, had an impressive win last time out against Denver.
Yes, they did. They lost to Boston convincingly, that is, and they had a big game against Denver. The Bulls beat them very handedly in Chicago recently, so this is a big game for Milwaukee, and for that fact, so is Chicago. They're in the same division.
All right, we're ready to go now with today's game. The tip-off approaching. Let's check now the starting lineups. For Milwaukee, they'll have Dave Myers and Marcus Johnson at the forwards. Ginelli, along with Quinn Buckner and Brian Winters, will be in the backcourt. Mickey Johnson, Scott May, Artis Gilmore, Vern Holland, and Norm Van Leer. The two officials for today's game will be Jake O'Donnell, he has the basketball, and Hugh Evans. What a tradition they've had. 1-1 thus far. This is the second time the Bulls have come in here to the Milwaukee Arena. Gilmore to go up, and he controls the tip-off to Mickey Johnson. In the red, the Chicago Bulls, as Quinn Buckner picks up Holland. Wilbur Holland, what a surprise he was a year ago, brings it off to Scott May. Dave Myers tries to intercept. Gilmore inside, and traveling is called on the big guy.
Gary, some interesting things to note here. In the last game these two teams met, the Bulls guards really convincingly handled the Bucks guards, and they were the keys in the win for Chicago.
Dave Myers, who's come back so well from that knee problem of a year ago, intercepted now by Holland, and here comes Van Leer. Van Leer, one of the assist leaders again this year in the NBA. Out to Holland, has to change his shot. What a move by Holland.
That's a nice move. That's just a given rule in basketball, of course. Holland moves very well without the ball. He gives it up. He also shoots it pretty well.
2-0 now. The Chicago Bulls with the lead. Here's Quinn Buckner. Buckner, the quarterback of this team. Out to Ginelli, who started the last 17 games for the Bucks. He'll try one. He's a pretty good shooter from outside.
Sure is. He does a fine job, and Gilmore will have to come out and play him. Gianelli can shoot out there with the guards on certain days.
2-2 our score is Van Leer, picked up now by Winters, who's a vastly improved defensive performer. That ball's out of bounds. It's going to be Milwaukee's.
Well, there you see fine defensive pressure by Marcus Johnson. He feels that's the one area he must improve and work on, is defense, but he's done a fine job.
You speak of defense. Winters, who just gave up the ball to Buckner, that's where he's improved so much. Here's Buckner now with Holland on him. Out it comes, Ginelli inside, Dave Myers. What a workhorse this guy is. He won't give you anything, and he does not get it. Gilmore high with a rebound. Breakaway to Johnson.
There you see the Bulls releasing a man on the break, and the Bucks have to be aware of that. They did that in the last game, and it worked for them. Today, the Bucks must have at least a guard, perhaps sometimes a forward back.
Inside. Look at that move by Marcus Johnson.
That's a typical move, but that was also a beautiful pass. Marcus moves well without the ball. Here it is, Marcus getting the backdoor play. Of course, the defensive man turned his head. Marcus went to the basket, got a nice pass.
Tie game, 4-4. Artis Gilmore backing in on Ginelli. That left-handed hook. Boy, is he tough when he gets inside with that ball.
Well, he's so big, Gary. How can one guy stop him? It takes two many times.
The Bulls with a 6-4 lead. Here's Buckner picked up by Holland. Ginelli up to Myers. Myers with Johnson on him. Johnson at 6'10", right up in his face. And it comes out to Holland. Breakaway to Johnson again, but this time Myers is back and plays it off to Winters. To Buckner. Both teams with the tempo picked up. Give to Johnson. A collision underneath. No whistle. And now we've got a foul coming up. Loose ball foul coming up.
You know what's amazing about that play? Artis Gilmore, that big fella, just took a charge. You don't see a lot of centers in the game take a charge and fall down. You see the Bulls hitting the boards, the Bucks trying to keep it alive, but the Bulls getting the rebound and the foul.
6-4 now. Chicago with the lead. Van Leer with the basketball. Winters on him. Up to Johnson. And he walked with the ball. Mickey Johnson trying to fake Myers up in the air. You know, you look at this Milwaukee team, John. They're last in defense, but that's really a little misleading, isn't it?
It really is, Gary. That is a stat that really, I don't know if it's worth really keeping. Perhaps it is. Some will argue that it is. But I think offenses control defenses many times. A club can be a good defensive team, but if they control the ball, that makes their defense even better.
Marcus Johnson moving inside, and he's been fouled. That foul's on Norm Van Leer. That is what is so impressive about Johnson, how he moves inside.
He moves inside very well, and it's amazing how well he shoots inside in traffic because every shot he takes it's in traffic and it's contested.
Look at him, take it inside again. Marcus Johnson averaging almost 19 points a game. He has 4. It's tied up 6-all. Johnson 6'7", the college player of the year for UCLA last season. Van Leer picked up by Winters. Van Leer, the quarterback of the team. He's the counterpart to Quinn Buckner of Milwaukee. Off to Scott May. A big guy inside. Giannelli's got his hands full with him. Up it goes. Johnson rejected that time by Marcus Johnson.
That's a nice anticipation by Marcus. The Bulls ran a play that they give to Gilmore, and they split off a bit.
Quinn Buckner, and Buckner has scored, and he's been fouled by Mickey Johnson.
You see the Bucks running the break here, Gary, and of course they want to run the break. Winters comes up, gives it to a Traylor Myers, and he makes a nice pass into Buckner, who makes a tough shot. Now, in the last game, the Bulls outran the Bucks. You might say they beat them at their own game. Tonight, the Bucks want to try to prevent the Bulls from running, but at the other end, they want to run.
One free throw coming for Buckner. That's the second team foul on the Bulls, and Johnson wipes the boards. 8:26 to go, first period. 8-6, Milwaukee with the 2-point lead. Van Leer picked up now by Buckner. Mickey Johnson from Aurora College, nearby Chicago, just improving every game. And look at Johnson go up. He had 11 rebounds in the 2 previous games against Chicago, and he's picking them up in a hurry. Stolen. Nice play by Holland. Buckner back on him, and we're at charging on Holland.
Well, that was great anticipation by Buckner. But, you know, Holland, he gets a number of steals. He plays the passing lanes very well, and he's a little upset with Hugh Evans right now. I think he felt that was a block.
First foul on Holland, third team foul now on Chicago. Okay, the intensity's there, and that's traditional in this rivalry, isn't it?
It sure is, and of course, I guess CBS television helps a little also.
And here's Holland trying to go for the steal. We're going to have a loose ball foul coming up. And I don't believe that Ed Badger's too happy about that one at all. Now, wait a minute. He's claiming there's something. It's going to be a foul on Buckner, but Badger was really upset. I don't know what about. Do you?
No, I don't. I don't understand. He must apparently thought it was going the other way.
Anyway, it's the foul on Buckner. Loose ball foul, and here's Van Leer picked up by Winters. There they go into Gilmore. You got to deny him that ball if you can, because look what he can do.
You know, once he catches the ball, if you don't double him up, and they tried to, Brian just couldn't reach the ball once Gilmore raised it over his head.
4 points for the big guy. Outside, Brian Winters. He's probably their best outside shooter.
Absolutely, and probably one of the best in the NBA.
So it's 10-8 now. Milwaukee by a pair. Here's Van Leer. Off to Johnson. He'll hit those.
All that was a pick and roll. You don't see it a lot anymore, but the Bulls ran it thin. Gilmore set the screen, and Van Leer made the play.
Here's Quinn Buckner inside. He was in a slump for a while, wasn't he, John?
That's right, Gary. He was very concerned going into their last game, and he said, I've got to get moving more because what I do, if I move, the club moves. He started moving in the Denver game, and it paid off in a victory. Johnson
is shooting close to 50% for the field. He's going to try another one. Rebound, Johnson. Boy, Johnson is just phenomenal. His timing. The foul. It's going to be a backcourt foul now, reaching in. Norm Van Leer. Johnson, you know, had the nickname as the Slammer in college. You can see why when you see how he gets up. So we have a timeout here with 6:52 to go. First period. The Milwaukee Bucks leading the Chicago Bulls 12-10.
See what's new today.
Introducing the third generation Monte Carlo. The third generation of a highly successful personal luxury car. Its highly original styling opens new dimensions in affordable luxury and in comfort. with more rear seat headroom, legroom, and hip room than last year's Monte Carlo. The third generation Monte Carlo. Drive it and put a little distance between yourself and the crowd.
Up here, the wind can turn an entire ski slope into one big snowdrift. But you've got the horsepower and the know-how to take the mountain away from the storm and give it back to the skiers. And now comes Miller time. Time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer. Miller tastes too good to hurry through. When it's time to relax, one beer stands clear. Beer after beer. If you got the time, we've got the beer. Miller beer.
Immediately following the conclusion of today's NBA game, we'll go to Boca Raton for the Grand Slam of tennis in the finals between Bjorn Borg and Jimmy Connors. And John, I think Connors is playing as well as he's ever played.
Well, I do too. He just recently won the Grand Prix of tennis at Madison Square Garden and beat Borg, as I recall, that is, Gary. And I think it will be very interesting.
Borg against Connors. Borg, of course, a Wimbledon champion. That's following this game, the Grand Slam of tennis. This game now at the 6:52 mark of the first period. 12-10, Milwaukee with the lead, and Marcus Johnson going to the free throw line. Jake O'Donnell, the official. Marcus Johnson does it all. He's shooting very well from the line, over 70%. I don't know any of those UCLA players, though, that don't shoot well from the free throw line.
You know, Dave Myers had some problems earlier, and he's changed his free throw shooting. He now shoots a jump shot, and he feels that has helped him improve.
It's a 4-point lead now for the Bucks, 14-10. Norm Van Leer and Holland still the guards. Gilmore, Johnson, and Scott May. The forward line for Ed Badger's crew, who's won 5 in a row coming into this game. Milwaukee coming off an impressive Denver win. A steal by Myers. That's the 6th turnover now against Chicago. Marcus Johnson can't get it. Just got inside too quickly. Look at the big guy.
Oh,
Can he move?
the only thing you can do on that is pray, man. There's nothing else you're going to do.
Clear out from underneath, right?
That's right. Get out of the way and hope the net stops the ball.
That's 6 points for Gilmore. It cuts the Bucks lead to 2. Here's Brian Winters outside using a pick. And Gilmore wastes no time bringing that one down. Here it comes to Holland again. Holland to Scott May. Rebound cleared by Johnson. And here comes Ginelli away with it to Buckner. Quinn Buckner. Ginelli. Gilmore on him. It's tough to shoot against a guy standing about 4 inches taller. Here comes Myers again. Won't go. Gilmore brings it out to Holland again. And they're again running the ball. As you said, they kind of take a picture or a page out of Milwaukee's book when they do it. And here's the steal attempt. Gilmore hustling. Coming away with it was Holland. Boy, it is intense right now.
It sure is. It's amazing the way Chicago is running. They're not supposed to be a running team, but they've been winning games by pushing the ball up the court.
Neither team getting the ball to drop right now. Winters trying to. It just won't go down. Here's Gilmore bringing it away again. Still 14-12, Milwaukee by 2. A little out of control maybe, John, a couple of times down the floor.
Well, I think both clubs could have stopped and set something up. As you see, Norm Van Leer finally getting control of the game right now. And he, at this point, has 4 assists. He's so valuable to their team.
And there's Buckner going for the steal. You know, Quinn Buckner comes in second in the NBA in steals.
He's an amazing player. I've had an opportunity to watch him quite a bit, and he plays the passing lanes so very well. And actually, Norm Van Leer and Holland do a pretty good job, too. But Buckner and Boosie and, of course, Ron Lee for Phoenix do it as good as anyone.
We have a change now. Mark Landsberger has checked in at forward, replacing Mickey Johnson. This is Scott May. May is playing with a knee problem.
He sure is. He has supposedly the lining of the knee. It's pinched between the kneecap and the femur, and they're saying that he may have to have an operation, but he's been playing very well lately, Gary.
Well, that basket tied this game up. It's 14-all. Ginelli picked up now by Gilmore. Gilmore will play you tough on defense. Myers outside. He just can't get it to drop, and Scott May's got it. The Bucks' 4-point lead now has dwindled to nothing as they can't get the ball to drop. Up it comes to Holland. He changed that shot. Boy, it's tough under there. Ginelli to Buckner. Van Leer trying to draw the foul. Brian Winters, and Winters gets one.
Well, you see Norm Van Leer trying to draw the foul. Of course, he and Jerry Sloan, I think they originated this in professional basketball. They do it so well. But it's hard to believe that it shouldn't be some type of call. But actually, Norm did not give a step, and you're supposed to give a step in that situation.
4 points in the ball game now for Winters. The Bucks up by 2. Van Leer to Scott May. And he is fouled as he makes his move inside. Say grabbed his jersey when he went by.
Well, I guess he had a better angle than us. I thought perhaps they might have called that on Quinn Buckner, but it was on Myers.
Number 17.
Myers committing the foul.
First personal.
And now we have 3 team fouls against both clubs. So we have 4:01 to go in this first period of play. Holland getting it into Gilmore. Back to Holland, the left-handed shot. Oof.
He can shoot, Gary. He shoots as good as anyone in professional basketball. He can put a lot of points on the board very quickly, and so can John Mingeld, who just came in the game for the Bulls.
So they say Holland's a streak shooter, and he's been streaking pretty well right now. There is a great effort by Winters. They can't get it to go down. You saw Johnson trying to jam it in.
You can
Boy,
see
is Ed Johnson strong.
He sure is, and he's got great timing. And very honestly, I think he has as good a body control on a forward probably since Elgin Baylor, and that's saying a lot.
Marcus Johnson, he was the 3rd man picked in the NBA draft. Kent Benson is first. We expect to see him before the afternoon is over. Landsberger has the ball macked away, and a foul coming up. So it's going to be Brian Winters committing the foul. That's his first, the 4th now against the Bucks. John Mingeld now in the lineup. Boy, you talk about a physical basketball player. This guy right now with the ball, he'll go with you.
You know, it's amazing. Mingeld on the Bulls and Buckner, of course, on the Bucks, both played football in college.
Gilmore, that's impossible to stop.
It sure is.
8 points now for Gilmore. And now the Bulls have taken the lead, 18-16, after trailing by 4 in the early going. This is Alex English, number 22, off to Janelli as we have some substitutions. English again, and he is a fine percentage shooter.
He sure is, and the Bucks will go to him like they did then down deep. They'll try to post him up. They run certain plays with the guards down, pull the guard away and let English post up, and he has a fine touch in there, and he has good body control.
Well, he's 3rd in the NBA in field goal percentage coming in here, shooting 55 from the field. Here's Holland looking for some shooting room. Mingeld comes up with it. Shooting percentage not very good, but the intensity is certainly there. Here comes May again. And Scott May can't get it to go. And it's off of Landsberger. It'll be Milwaukee's basketball.
Gary, you mentioned field goal percentage. And, you know, percentage is not always how good a player can shoot, but it's the type of shot he takes.
All right, timeout. 18-18 our score at 2:38 to go in the first period.
We must transmit the power to our homes and factories. We gotta make the highway safe for folks like you and me. Our cars should be lighter for the most from every mile. We must clean up, recycle, and make the whole world smile. We can't wait for tomorrow. Alcoa can't wait.
We are helping our community and all communities by recycling junked automobiles in our melting process instead of bringing in virgin iron. 6,000 cars a month is what we recycle here.
Jan Pribble, Foundry Line Supervisor. This is who we are and what we do at General Motors.
We make quality castings, car parts, GM parts. We can remelt scrap pieces and still get the quality that we're after. Quality to me is what we're here for. It's important that we run quality castings here. It's a must. If you're really interested in staying here, you cannot do enough for the place. That's the way I feel. The people have so much pride. General Motors has been good to them too.
General Motors, people building transportation to serve people.
Ed Badger, the coach of the Chicago Bulls. He took over last year, and what a job he did. A team that got off slow footing and then put it all together, made it into the playoffs before losing to the Portland Trail Blazers. Artis Gilmore already with 5 rebounds in this game.
Oh, it's amazing. There you saw Jerry Sloan, of course, the great guard for the Bulls. I had to go against him a few times, and whenever he was in the game, you were always aware of his defensive abilities. He seemed to take the charge better than anyone I have ever known.
Quinn Buckner now brings it up the floor, plays it off to Marcus Johnson. Johnson, very impressive in the early going. Alex English from South Carolina, second-year man. He got it and he's been fouled. Alex English has fired away twice and hit them both.
Gary, here's a story on Alex English where a young fellow came in. As you look at Don Nelson, coach of the Milwaukee Bucks, kind of quiet and subdued right now, but he can get fired up, believe me. Alex English had a difficult rookie year, but he played in the Summer California League, and that improved him so much he feels that was really key to how he is playing this year.
21-18 our score with 2:25 to go in this first period. Welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Milwaukee. The team in the white uniforms of Milwaukee Bucks playing the Chicago Bulls in the red. Our score now is Milwaukee 21, Chicago 18, as we have 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go in this first quarter of play. As now the Bulls with the basketball. Gary Bender along with John McLaughlin in Milwaukee as John Mengelt plays it into Gilmore. Artis Gilmore has been tough, and here comes the rookie Marcus Johnson to the rebound. A steal by Scott May.
Scott May very smart there, hanging around the ball, and that's Artis Gilmore's first miss. He's 4 for 5 in the game.
And it goes to Alex English, who's hit 2 shots he's attempted, as Winters now brings it inside at the 149 mark.
Alex English from Winters.
Alex English has hit 3 in a row, and the Milwaukee Bucks have a 23-20 lead. As welcome back to the Milwaukee Arena as Van Leer hitting off the left-hand side. I'm sorry, make that Holland from the left-hand side. It's now 23-22, a 1-point lead for the Bucks, who've had as many as a 4-point lead in this first period. Alex English, and it comes now to Quinn Buckner. And Buckner, you know, he's not known as a good shooter, but he'll get those moments, won't he?
He sure will. And the thing about Quinn, he'll keep the offensive pressure on you. And that time, the Bucks set him up. They posted him up on Wilbur Holland. Apparently, they want to keep as much defensive pressure on Holland as possible.
John Mengelt picked up very tenaciously by Winters. Off to Scott May, and May's having trouble, but he's going to horse it up. And it's going to be Milwaukee's basketball. Boy, you go inside in this game, you better be ready.
You sure had. And John Gianelli is doing a fine job this year for the Bucks. He's blocking a number of shots, and I think when he came to the Bucks organization, they didn't really realize that he was as good a shot blocker as he has been this year.
Well, they have Kent Benson and also Jim Akins on the bench. They have 3 pivots now on this Milwaukee team. Johnson, rebound Gilmore, and he has a bundle of them here in the first period. 39 seconds remaining first period. 25-22 Milwaukee. Mengelt in trouble. To Scott May. May with great maturity last year as a rookie, only in his second year. Mengelt working it down now, 7 seconds on the shot clock. Out to Scott May. Rebound Johnson, and Johnson seems to be all over the place. Steal by Scott May. That's the second time May has swiped the ball in the backcourt.
Oh, May did a fine job. And there's a situation where Marcus Johnson got the rebound, but he really wasn't aware of who was behind him. And normally, he has to be aware of that and know that they can't turn the ball over.
Scott May with 6 points. 1-point lead for Milwaukee, but now make it 3. Nice pass that time. And that's going to end our first period here at the Milwaukee Arena, as the Milwaukee Bucks have a 3-point lead, 27-24. As this rivalry between Chicago and Milwaukee has picked up where it left off. We'll be back to bring you more from the Milwaukee Arena in a moment.
Introducing the Kellys. From Fayetteville, North Carolina, the Kelly Passenger Radial. From Cumberland, Maryland, the Kelly Truck Tire. From Tyler, Texas, the Kelly RV Tire. From Freeport, Illinois, the Kelly Farm Tractor Tire. From Cumberland, Maryland, the low-cost 4-ply tire.
For whatever driving you're doing, the Kellys have a tire for you. The Kellys. What a life.
Tough throughout the line. We're good and tough. We're the Kellys. See what's new today in a Chevrolet.
To the more than 600,000 people who bought the new Chevrolet during its very first year, thank you. You've made it the most popular car in America. For the rest of you, a simple reminder. With its advanced design, the new Chevrolet has more headroom, more rear seat legroom, more trunk room, and more. So drive it. The new Chevrolet. Now that's more like it.
Control is very important in the game of basketball. And control is vital in the game of life, especially when you're dealing with high blood pressure. Right now, I'm having my blood pressure checked. That's the only way to tell if it's high. If it is high, I'll follow my doctor's advice to control it.
It's normal, Tom.
Good. For more information, ask your American Heart Association. I'm Tom Borwinkle. Remember, we're fighting for your life.
An announcement from the American Heart Association in cooperation with the NBA.
Next Saturday and Sunday on CBS Sports, we're going to have the Andy Williams San Diego Open, $200,000 event, and Tom Watson's back to defend his title.
He certainly is having a fine year, and of course, just going to San Diego is nice enough.
And the leading money winner, Tom Watson. It's held at the Torrey Pines Golf Club at San Diego. Live coverage next Saturday and Sunday at 4 Eastern on CBS Sports. Well, we've gone through one period, and John McLaughlin, it's just like we expected, right?
Well, it's run and gun right now, and you haven't seen a lot of Bulls-Bucks games running and gunning. Recently, the Bulls running as much as any team in the NBA, as I mentioned earlier, but I think Coach Ed Badger wants to control them a little bit more at times, but some of these young players really want to go.
And the intensity is there. Ryan Winters off to Marcus Johnson, Quinn Buckner, Alex English, and John Giannelli. The starters now as we start the second period, and Buckner to try one. Look how they go up on the boards as it comes out now to Tate Armstrong, the rookie from Duke. Here is Mengelt. Armstrong has really become a factor in the Chicago Bull team. He had 22 points against Detroit the other night.
And actually, he was a factor in coming in, and I think probably helping the Bulls win the game, in that they were not playing that well when he came in. As you see, that the big guy just smothered the boards.
Boy, he completely encompassed that rim that time and able to tip it in. And it's a 1-point lead for the Bucks, 27-26. Quinn Buckner with Armstrong on him. This is Brian Winters. And Winters not getting that shot to drop, but look at that follow. Marcus Johnson.
He hangs around the offensive boards, and he does a good job of getting into the offensive board. He's very difficult to block off because he's always in motion.
8 points now for Marcus Johnson, 29-26. The Bucks. Gilmore again working inside. A little fall away. Johnson comes away with it to Quinn Buckner. Boy, Buckner can handle the ball. Look at the follow by Giannelli. Gilmore was down at the other end of the floor. He didn't even follow the play.
Well, you can see here, you can see Giannelli in following. He gets the rebound and, of course, the basket. The Bucks trying to play Gilmore to his left, not allow him to go to the hook, but force him into the jump shot.
31-26, Milwaukee. Mickey Johnson with Marcus Johnson on him. Forced the shot. Rebound by Buckner. They're only getting about one crack at it, and Milwaukee's collapsing on the defensive board.
Well, the Bucks must be aware of that because they've allowed too many offensive rebounds in the past.
Winters just can't get it to go, but Marcus Johnson does, and he's been fouled by Artis Gilmore.
Marcus Johnson has 7 rebounds in the game, and I am not really sure at this point, but I would say 3 or 4 of those are offensive rebounds, and 2 of them offensive rebounds and baskets.
That's Gilmore's first foul, sending Johnson to the line. Boy, I tell you, Marcus Johnson has been sensational. What an exciting player. He's one of the top 3 candidates, I would say, for the NBA Rookie of the Year.
Yes, I agree with that.
Johnson off to Mengelt. 10-11 to go now before halftime. Mengelt. And this is Nick Witherspoon. Witherspoon coming in. Can't get it to go for him. Off it comes. Buckner, I believe he traveled the ball. Quinn Buckner traveled to the ball.
That was a good call. They were right on top of that, Gary. You were also, by the way.
And so now Chicago's going to get the basketball, and there's going to be some changes coming in the lineup. Junior Bridgman, number 2, will be checking in. Dave Myers coming back in for the Bucks. Junior Bridgman, number 2, as you look at him, has been outstanding coming off the bench.
He's done a fine job, and he's a good shooter, Gary, and that is, of course, what the Bucks want out of him. But more importantly, he's improved his defense quite a bit, and the Bucks were concerned about that earlier, but he's done a good job of improving.
Also coming to the ball game, a new center for the Milwaukee Bucks. Pondexter has checked in. So we'll check that for the Chicago Bulls. So we have Witherspoon, Pondexter, Mickey Johnson, Tate Armstrong, and John Mengelt. And the starting 5 now for Ed Badger. This is Marcus Johnson. Both teams now substituting liberally here in the second period. Johnson inside, blocked that time by Mickey Johnson. Look at the hustle by Johnson. And we're going to have a foul, I believe, on Marcus Johnson.
Mickey Johnson did a good job of anticipating it, and that's what he has to do when he's on the weak side. And he's a player. This guy's interesting. Of course, he said when he was a young boy he wanted to play for the Chicago Bulls because he grew up in that area, and now he's playing for them, and all-star material for sure. You see him hustling after the ball. That's that Norm Van Leer hustle, diving on the ball, and of course he draws the foul.
Well, we have a timeout as Marcus Johnson has committed his second personal foul. Don Nelson checking with the officials. 34-26 Milwaukee.
never won anything before. Man, that's always the first time.
Come and have a Pepsi Day. Come on and make this day a celebration. Come on and join the Pepsi generation. Come on and have a Pepsi Day.
Winning throughout the nation as Hertz the superstar. We got the winning combination. Super people, super cars, making that extra effort to meet your special needs. Getting you in, getting you out with super speed. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car. Hertz, the superstar in rent-a-car.
You know it.
All across our land, people know our brand. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Spark plugs by AC.
Hear that, men? You can trust AC spark plugs. And remember AC filters to help protect your engine from dirt and dust. Right, Ben? Ben? Heads!
Drive through dirt and dust. Good filters are a must. You can trust AC.
Thanks, AC.
Filters by AC. Plugs and filters by AC. Plugs and
Mickey Johnson at the free throw line, a scramble underneath the basket. He was fouled by Marcus Johnson, who committed his second foul. Johnson just keeps improving. This is a young man that didn't play any high school basketball.
That's amazing. There are a few other players in the NBA who did not, but they're very few. And the Johnson-Johnson matchup for Milwaukee-Chicago, very interesting. Dave Myers has gone against Mickey Johnson in the past, but tonight, or this afternoon already, the two Johnsons have matched up at both ends.
Mickey Johnson now with 5 points. He was fouled in the backcourt, 2-shot foul. And now it's a 34-28 game. The Bucks on top. A little pressure in the backcourt by Tate Armstrong. So Buckner and Junior Bridgman, Dave Myers, and also Ernie Grunfeld is checked into the lineup. A lot of substitutions early going. Here's Myers. And a foul coming up. 3 seconds instead. He was in the lane 3 seconds.
You know, that's a violation that I've always felt really should not be called. I think a player has no excuse to get caught in there for 3 seconds. He knows that. He must get out. And in a situation like that, Gary, really he was not trying to post up. The call was not on Myers. It was on English.
Mingelt now. Actually, the Bucks going without a big guy in the middle right now.
They go this way now and then. Of course, they feel with Pondexter in there, the Bucks can match up better than they could with Gilmore.
Armstrong into Mingelt. Mingelt just forcing his way in. And coming down with it, Alex English. Loose ball foul. That's Bridgman who actually had the basketball. As Mickey Johnson commits a personal foul, he pleads his case, and that's his second personal.
Second team on the ball.
You can see the ball going up here. And look at the attack of the offensive board, but Bridgman gets it on the second effort, actually, because the Bulls came very close to getting a second shot at the basket.
John, in the past, Bridgman's played both a guard and a forward, right? Is he only a guard now?
Yes, that's right. He only playing guard this year, and he says he feels a lot more comfortable only playing one position. The switching back and forth seemed to bother him last year.
Armstrong, a good defensive player. Ernie Grunfeld, and this is a guy whose shooting is really picking up.
It is. He's a good shooter, but he hasn't shot that well this year because of playing time. And I think a lot of players will tell you that, hey, it's hard to shoot well when you're only playing 4 and 5 minutes at stretches.
Grunfeld starting slowly this year. He was the third #1 draft pick for the Milwaukee Bucks this year. What a draft they've had. Pondexter trying to find Johnson. Here comes Junior Bridgman, the former Louisville All-American, who's come off the bench and scored a bunch of points. Grunfeld again. Dave Myers goes out. And taken away very nicely that time by Norm Van Leer.
That's Norman. Boy, I tell you, he's the best at the game at going after the ball, and he takes it away so many times. I would say he must average 2 or 3 a game taking the ball away.
He does that, exaczly. He's 8th in the NBA in that department. And so Weatherspoon, who hasn't been seeing a lot of game playing time, picks up his first 2 points.
You know, with Pondexter in the game, the Bulls changed just a little bit. As you see penetration here by Buckner, and Ernie Grunfeld gets another 2.
Boy, that Grunfeld, he's built like a tight end.
He sure is. With his feet and hands, he should be about 6'9" instead of 6'5".
8-point lead for the Bucks, but Mickey Johnson trying to cut that. Follow tip by Weatherspoon. And discussion going on. It's going to be Milwaukee's ball. As coming in the lineup, substitution now is Steve Shepard, number 41. He's a rookie from Maryland. He was their second-round draft pick. If there's one thing that Chicago might be suspect in, John, is their depth.
That's correct, and I think their depth has given them, well, it's been there a little bit more as of late. You see Buckner throw up a hope and an air ball. It was actually a forced shot. Quinn probably shouldn't have taken that particular shot, but their bench has been giving them more help with Armstrong coming along, and they've been alternating Shepard and Weatherspoon in there and Landsberger, and they've been helping some, but they are a little weak in that area.
Van Leer now looking inside. This is Shepard who just checked in, and they're throwing it underneath the basket. It's going to be the Bucks ball.
Gary, something I started to say a moment ago about Pondexter. The Bucks coaches that is, felt in the last game that when Pondexter came in, that's when the tide turned. That they played zone principles and they made the Bucks turn the ball over and they went down and scored at the other end.
Here's a guy that's really playing well, English. Alex English, however, is going to be called for charging on that play. So the Bucks will set up defensively, and Norm Van Leer will bring it in. 7 minutes to go now before halftime. 38-30, an 8-point lead for Milwaukee. Here comes Shepard again. Shepard played on that Olympic team that won the gold medal.
Yes,
a lot of them in this game.
So did Tate Armstrong and Quinn Buckner and
Scott May.
And Ernie Grunfeld.
That's not too bad representation. Here comes Grunfeld. Well, you don't think Tennessee didn't have a basketball team with Bernard King and Grunfeld last year?
I'll guarantee you one thing. Between the two of them, there weren't a lot of shots left for anyone else.
Milwaukee has called a timeout at the 6:40 mark of this first half. The Milwaukee Bucks with an 8-point, 38-30 lead here in the arena.
These 1,700 one-gallon gas cans reach up to the highest suspension bridge in the world, demonstrating just one advantage of the new Chevy Chevette. If the car you drive now has an average EPA combined city highway mileage estimate of 17 miles to a gallon of gas, and you switch to a Chevy Chevette with its higher mileage, you might save up to this much gas, as much as 1,700 gallons over 5 years of normal driving. 1,700 gallons, enough to reach from the bottom of Royal Gorge to the bridge above and then some.
Energy for a stronger America.
Last year, Exxon launched the world's tallest offshore oil platform. Today, off California's coast, it's opening America's really deep waters as a source of energy for the first time. From its deck over 900 feet above the ocean floor, drilling crews have begun work. And soon, 28 wells here will be producing oil and gas where none could be produced before. A new source of energy for a strong America.
Now comes Miller time. You've turned a dangerous ledge of new powder into a harmless pile of snow. Now's the time to head for the best-tasting beer you can find. Miller High Life, America's quality beer since 1855.
If you've got the time, we've got the beer. Miller Beer.
Alan Arkin stars in The Defection of Seamus Kudirka, a true story of one man's fight for freedom. Monday at 9, 8 Central and Mountain.
The Chicago Bull bench, they're looking for their 6th win in a row as we come back in, the Bucks with the basketball. This is Lloyd Walt, number 11, who just checked in. The ball gets away from him. Tate Armstrong. And Tate Armstrong, you see he's playing with confidence.
He sure is. He's going to the basket. And the Bucks on that turnover, that hurts. There are different types of turnovers. A turnover like that, when it should not happen, hurts more than one if the defensive pressure creates it.
Here's Dave Myers now as the Bucks lead has been cut to 6. Walton outside. He had 14 points the other night coming off the bench. Van Leer will bring it up now. You can see Scott May when he comes back up the floor. He's limping a little bit with that knee.
He must be having some problems. He says it bothers him a lot, but apparently he's decided to play with it, Gary. He feels he has no other choice now.
Here's Pondexter. They brought him back from Sweden when Jim Ard tore up a knee. Here's Scott May. Rebound Myers. Off it comes to Lloyd Walton. Off it comes Bridgman. And a good effort that time. 40-32, the Bucks now back on top by 8.
Alex English normally does a very fine job of going to the offensive boards, and you saw it that time. And then that nice little flick touch. As a matter of fact, his nickname is Flick.
Here's Pondexter. Pondexter at 6'9" out of Long Beach State and a foul.
Number 2, Junior Bridgman.
Bridgman committing the foul.
Excuse me, Gary. The Bulls get a lot of movement, especially with Pondexter in, and the ball goes into him, and you saw the movement on and off the ball. A lot of splits, and they try to screen for one another and free someone.
Ginelli now checks back in to the Bucks lineup. 5:30 to go in this second period. Off to Gilmore. 40-32 our score. Now for a report on the New York at Denver game, let's go to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Denver.
Welcome to those of you who've just joined us. Denver in white with the ball. They will still control it. They trail the New York Knicks, who are in blue, by 2 points, 41-39. I'm Brent Musburger along with Keith Erickson. Danny Issel off of Bobby Jones, but Jimmy Price runs it down. David Thompson, 33 on the floor. Bobby Wilkerson, 32. Jones is off, and so here come the Knicks. Keith, the Knicks have played well.
Yes, they have played very well. They're really looking for each other. Nice drive by Butch Beard. We saw Bobby Jones miss a short jump shot down there. I think that's probably the only weakness in his game. He's just a little bit weak on his jump shooting from out about 15 feet or more. And you don't see him take it very often. Teams try to embarrass him and back off of him, make him take the shot.
Here's an update on the New Orleans game. Detroit leading, Pistol Pete. New Orleans, Pistol Pete, of course, leading the league in scoring. George Gervin is second. The man who was playing in this game is third. David Thompson, you'll see all three of those stars a week from Sunday. The NBA All-Star Game on CBS. Nice to have the basketball season in full swing on network television, isn't it? Here's Bobby Wilkerson. Pops it in now to Jones. McAdoo is right with him. What a matchup that's been. Wilkerson outside.
Bobby Wilkerson.
6 minutes and 28 seconds to go in the first half. Knicks up by 1, 42-41.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. This is Gary Bender and John McLaughlin. Our score here, Milwaukee 40, Chicago 35, as we have 4 minutes and 30 seconds remaining in the second period. As right now, Milwaukee in the white uniforms with the basketball. Walton and Bridgman playing the guards. Grunfeld, Marcus Johnson checking back in now, along with John Ginelli at center. Bucks have led by as many as 8 points in this first half.
With Ginelli in the game, the Bucks use him high post so he can shoot that jump shot just like that. Of course, they hope he does that.
You saw that one coming, didn't you?
They run a lot of screens off of him up high, and then he pops back, catches the ball, and he can either hit the men coming from under the basket off of screens or shoot it like he did there.
He has 8 points a game, and he's trying to force Gilmore out. They're pushing and shoving inside a little bit. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Wilbur Holland. Boy, he's got a nice touch with that left hand.
He really does, and of course he came to his left then. The Bucks prefer to push him right. They don't want to let him come left because he shoots so well, of course, in particular going left.
And a collision inside. And I believe Grunfeld is going to come away with a foul. That's right, Ernie Grunfeld. You said he has a size 15 shoe to go with those big legs. I tell you, Tennessee, I'm surprised they didn't get him out for football.
He would be a great linebacker, I'll tell you that. You know, the Bucks now are committing some fouls, and so far in the game, the fouls really haven't been a factor. As a matter of fact, in the first quarter, the Bulls shot none, and the Bucks only 4.
3:43 to go before halftime. 42-37 Milwaukee, and it's going to be Chicago's basketball. So Gilmore now indicating they're going to run play number 6 as they set it up. When you're that tall, you can pretty well see where everybody's going, can't you?
You can see the guy in the top rows here in the arena. Are you kidding me? You can shake hands with him.
And here's Gilmore. That's where he likes to post up. But he can't get that one, and Junior Bridgman wipes the boards. Bridgman's doing a good job in the rebounding department.
Well, and that's what they need. When the guard can come back in there and get a rebound, that helps tremendously. Jerry Sloan used to do it better than anyone, those guard rebounds.
Walton outside. He can shoot the ball.
They love him here, too. Of course, he played for Marquette. He used to light a few teams up here when he played in college, and they love him when he comes in.
He's only 6 foot tall. He's playing in a big man's game, but holding his own. Here's Van Leer. Off to Scott May. May trying to go against Grunfeld. He forced that one, and here they come. Walton to try another one, and give him one that won't go this time. Marcus Johnson, look at Johnson scramble for it. Grunfeld's got it. Johnson again.
Oh, gee. He got up off the floor and got that second offensive rebound.
And he's got people up standing applauding that effort, John.
Oh, boy.
Marcus Johnson, is he really some basketball player?
Here's the shot. It comes out. Marcus stands back up, gets the other rebound and the basket.
46-37. Milwaukee with the lead at 2:42 before halftime.
Like your GM car?
Yeah.
Want to keep that great GM feeling?
We sure do.
Then shake hands with Mr. Goodwrench. He's dedicated to improved customer care at more than 6,000 participating GM dealers.
You want genuine GM parts. You want your car fixed right, on time. That's what I want too. Caring about your GM car helps keep me in business.
Keep that great GM feeling with genuine GM parts.
Hi-ho! Your Admiral here to inspect your shipload of values.
Ready for inspection, sir, with outstanding values.
We're offering this automatic ice maker kit free with selected Admiral side-by-side refrigerators.
Roger.
No, it's Walter, sir.
Roger.
And on Admiral television sets that adapt for remote control, the remote control unit is free, a feature that could cost up to $90 on some other brands.
A shipload of values you can be proud of, lad.
Thank you, sir.
Sale ends February 4th at participating Admiral dealers.
Fred sent in his tax return yesterday. Now he has to wait for his refund check. And wait, and wait. Harry had plans for his refund money. He went to Beneficial, because Beneficial wants to lend you the full amount of the refund you expect, and more, so you can get going now. If you have plans for your refund money, would you rather wait, like Fred, or go, like Harry?
At Beneficial, you're good for more.
Here you see the Bucks artist, George Pollard, and his son Jim, doing a little fast sketch work there. He's doing a lot of work for the Bucks, and it's very nice.
And of course, we have this brand new floor designed by Robert Indiana, as it's the first time they've been playing on an actual work of art here. It's a beautiful, colorful, multicolored floor here in the Milwaukee Arena. Gilmore with the basketball and forcing his way in, and he's going to be called for a foul. Gilmore now has 3 personal fouls.
Well, that could be a factor in the game, of course. You can see here the Bucks trying to double team. They turn Gilmore inside, and Gianelli takes the foul.
46-37, 2:23 to go before half. Grunfeld out to Lloyd Walton. Grunfeld trying to work around his Bridgman. Boy, Bridgman and Van Leer really pushing and shoving inside. Bridgman at 6'5" has quite a height advantage out there.
He does, but let me tell you something. Norm Van Leer can nullify that because he's so scrappy.
Marcus Johnson can't get it to go. It's off of Scott May. It'll be Milwaukee's ball. That's just good hustle that time.
Now, defensively, Chicago plays pretty much head up. They don't really push that much to the sides or to the middle, but they try to fight over the picks and play pretty much even.
There's Bridgman. Rebound by Mickey Johnson. Johnson's going to slow it down. That's one of the few times they've slowed it down in this game. Van Leer with Walton on him. Inside 2 minutes to go now in this first half. Gilmore. Tonelli on him. He wants to go left. That's kind of a funny shot, wasn't it?
It is, but it's not too funny for 2 points, I'll tell you that. You know, he's shot that hook for a number of years, and he does it pretty well, and he did it then under pressure.
12 points for the big guy. Tonelli picked up by Gilmore. Bridgman against Van Leer. Van Leer reaches in on him.
Now you can see the Bucks now trying to take advantage of that height you talked about on Bridgman. He does a good job of posting up, but even when you try to post up on Norm Van Leer, you have your hands full.
Well, that's 3 on Van Leer, the 3rd team foul now against Chicago. Walton picked up by Holland. Tonelli way outside. That's a little far for him, I would think.
Yeah, I think that's about 3 or 4 steps too far, and really it was not a good shot.
46-39, the Bucks with the lead. Van Leer with the basketball. Johnson, they're having to shoot outside right now. Here's Grunfeld coming away with it. Lloyd Walton, picked up by Holland. Into Marcus Johnson, posting up inside. Look at that move. Mickey Johnson hit the deck, but no whistle on the play. Up to Scott May, 49 seconds. You see the time now on the lower right-hand portion of your screen. 46-39. The Bucks have led by as many as 8 in this first half. Van Leer slowing it down now. 6 seconds on the shot clock. They got 3 seconds on the shot clock. 2. They didn't get it off.
They sure didn't. That's where the players must be aware of the shot clock. And that's a responsibility of the player. You should always know the time on the shot clock and on the main clock.
Well, that's a costly turnover.
One other thing, Gary, it's interesting here. Neither team in the penalty yet. And that doesn't happen a lot in an NBA game.
So the Bucks now with Walton and Bridgman. They're going to take their time with 23 seconds. 17 on the shot clock. A lot of substitution in a game that has really been a physically demanding game. The Bulls had their game Friday night snowed out, so they didn't play. Here's Grunfeld. Boy,
that guy's got nice touch for a big, strong guy. And it's now 48-39 as this first half has come to a close. 48-39, the Milwaukee Bucks with the lead. Reminder now at halftime, we're going to have our feature on horse as Cazzie Russell and Mickey Johnson square off against each other.
Hi, everyone. I'm Don Criqui, and this year at halftime on CBS coverage of NBA basketball, we have some of the top players in the league matched up in the old schoolyard game of horse, where a player must duplicate his opponent's shots or be assessed a penalty letter. 5 misses means 5 letters. That spells horse, and he's out. Today we have Mickey Johnson going against Cazzie Russell, and for more on the rules, here's Mendy Rudolph.
The basic rules of horse are as follows. The player in control must describe his shot beforehand. Now, 2 consecutive shots from the same area are not allowed unless someone moves at least 5 feet away. There are trick shots allowed. However, the same trick shot cannot be attempted more than once in the contest. The flip of the coin will determine who goes first. Now, there's going to be disputes out there, and if there are, my word will be the final judge.
Cazzie Russell, the #1 draft choice in the NBA 11 seasons ago out of Michigan, has won the flip, and he'll call the lead away. He must call his shot now.
Call your shot, Kaz.
Right-hand hook shot. Right-hand hook shot, says Cazzie.
Right-hand hook shot off the glass.
Now must be matched by Mickey Johnson.
And made by Mickey Johnson.
Cazzie's now a broadcaster with us on CBS after 11 seasons in the NBA, and here he goes with the left hand.
Left hand off the glass, Mickey. And there's the first letter. Mickey Johnson picks up an H.
Jump shot, top of the key.
Swish jump shot.
Can't do any better than that. Now the whistle, another letter on Mickey.
Mickey Johnson picks up an O. Cazzie Russell in the lead. Okay, Kaz, call your shot.
Jumper, corner.
Corner jump shot.
Goodness.
Mickey Johnson duplicates.
Jumper.
Swisher from the top of the key, Mickey.
Cazzie's keeping the heat on with that ace jump shot of his.
Third
another
letter
whistle, another letter on Mickey Johnson.
H-O-R. Cazzie Russell in the lead. Go, Kaz.
Bank is open. Bank shot.
A bank shot. Cazzie doesn't miss. Got to use the backboard. And Mickey Johnson does it.
Big guy stays with him.
Bank shot.
Off the glass. Cazzie misses. And makes, rather.
We're coming to you from the Omni International Complex in Atlanta.
What's going to do, Kaz?
Straight in.
Straight in. And Mickey Johnson straight in.
Straight in.
Cazzie is really keeping the heat on with that jump shot.
Cazzie has an eye. Great streak shooter.
Mickey is now 1 letter from elimination.
Cazzie with a jumper just will not miss. Mickey Johnson on pressure now. And that's it. Cazzie closes them out.
So Cazzie celebrates with a little slam dunk, and Cazzie Russell closes out Mickey Johnson 5 letters to none, and Cazzie moves on to the second round of this horse competition. Cazzie, you got him quick.
I had to get to him before he got warm. You know, young guys get warm. Mickey's a good shooter, and I was just trying to get to him early before he got started.
All right, you're a streak shooter, and you had it going today, Cazzie. We'll see you in the rounds to come.
I hope so, Don.
A loser in the first round gets a check for $500. The winner, of course, advances. And next week, you'll be watching Bingo Smith of Cleveland against All-Pro Doug Collins of Philadelphia.
Our fifth 41%, and 4 of 5 at the line.
All right, John McLaughlin, let's take a look now at the first half statistics. The field goal percentage is not what they'd like to have.
Well, I'm sure that's true, Gary, for either club, but I think that's due to defense. Fine defense by both clubs. You can see here offensive rebounds. That's a key factor in favor of the Milwaukee Bucks, and you can certainly expect the Bulls to come back and go to their offensive boards a lot better this second half. Turnovers fairly close, 13-10.
All right, as far as the Chicago Bulls are concerned, Gilmore, the leading man. He's also their leading rebounder. He has a total of 12 points and 8 rebounds.
You can expect Wilbur Holland and Mickey Johnson to come out and put a lot more points on the board this second half.
On the other hand, the Milwaukee Bucks, Marcus Johnson, he's the leading scorer thus far and also the leading rebounder in the first half.
He almost has his average in rebounds with 10, and many of those offensive rebounds, 4 of them to be exact.
Alex English doing quite a job coming off the bench, and that's an interesting statistic in itself because look at this. The Bucks really getting some firepower.
Well, they've had a lot of scoring out of their bench all year. Junior Bridgman and Alex English have been coming in and doing a fine job. And I think you might see Chicago's bench putting on a few more points this second half.
All right, Quinn Buckner, Brian Winters are the guards. Dave Myers, Marcus Johnson the forwards. John Giannelli is the center. For the Chicago Bulls, it's going to be Holland. Van Leer at the guards as Marcus Johnson goes for one outside. Rebounded Giannelli. Brian Winters wide open.
Well, you don't want to leave him open too many times, and of course the Bulls know that. Marcus Johnson taking that outside jump shot, that's the one little bit of a weak point he has in his game, and he's been working on it.
Here's Van Leer taking Winters in. What a move by the little guy. He's fouled by Winters. Now let's set it offensively. It's Van Leer and Holland at the guards, Scott May, also Mickey Johnson and Artis Gilmore.
Well, this is what Norm Van Leer does so well. Go to the basket. Many times he gives the pass off, but that time he shot it up for himself.
You know, almost a year ago at this same place, he was in that starting lineup in the All-Star game. Van Leer was. Quite an honor to him.
You know, he's a type of player I have a great deal of respect for, and having to play against him many years, I could gain that respect. He's a pretty fine guy, too, I'll tell you.
You always knew he was around. He kept you honest, right?
He sure did.
50-41. Here's Buckner outside now for the Bucks. Back door, Marcus Johnson. Just couldn't get it down. Mickey Johnson in the corner to Van Leer. Making Winters inside again. That's going to be short, and Gilmore's got it. Oh, he made that look easy, didn't he?
That's a nice move by the big guy. You know, he can go either way now, and I said the Bucks really want to push him into that jump shot. That time he went that direction and made it.
14 points for the 7'2" center, averaging 22.9 a game. We've got a charging foul on Dave Myers.
Mickey Johnson anticipated that very nicely. Dave Myers drives to the basket very well, and he really does prefer to go to his right, although he goes left pretty well also. Mickey Johnson obviously knew it and drew the foul.
Pressure in the backcourt, and Hugh Evans says, let's try it again. I guess Buckner crowding him a little bit over there.
Holland says, I need more room over there. And they're supposed to give a little room, but the player always moves back in and takes it away.
And now Don Nelson's up. You see him. Be absolutely sure we're all aligned here, man. Let's go. 10:48 to go. Third period. 50-43. The Bucks on top. Van Leer picked up by Brian Winters. Van Leer really driving in this third quarter. Out it comes now to Wilbur Holland.
Now, one thing, Norm Van Leer goes baseline very nicely, and the Bucks pushing baseline. Their defense is pushed to the sides and baseline, and they must get weak side help.
The Bucks lead has been cut to 5, and the scramble is on, and what an effort that time by Gilmore. Can you believe that?
You know, that big guy really puts out. He's been on the floor 4 times in this game, taking a charge, that time diving for the ball.
You know, last year they felt like he started slow, that adjustment for the ABA, but not this year.
Well, you know, Artis felt that he had to, as you look at him, boy, that's a lot of body on the floor right there. He felt he had to adjust a little to all the double teaming he was getting, and he's been adjusting very well.
Look at the scramble inside. Marcus Johnson kept that ball in play for the Bucks. This is Johnson the ball again. He had 10 rebounds in the first half to go with 13 points. Brian Winters.
That guy's a shooter. Of course, he can shoot coming off screens and taking people one-on-one. But Marcus Johnson kept the ball alive, and there's so much to be said for that. If you can't get it, at least get a hand on it and keep it alive, and perhaps a teammate can get it.
8 points in the game now. Up to Gilmore, and Gilmore turned around. He got hit in the head that time. He's hurting a little bit, John.
He takes a lot of abuse out there. He gets hit. He acts like he's a little dizzy right now. That was a nice set play they ran for Gilmore.
And Giannelli came right back. Gilmore wants an injury timeout, I believe. He's hurting. You can see him there. He caught an elbow, I believe, when he went inside. I didn't believe anybody could get their elbow up that high on him.
Not an elbow anyway. I didn't see what happened there. He turned inside. What they did, they ran a play for him. They swung the ball from the strong side back to the point, and Gilmore rolled in front of the basket. You can see here, the ball comes into him. Perhaps we can see what happened. He goes to his left, up, nice and strong.
You know, I think it's his own teammate, John.
It looks like he might get hit on the way up, as a matter of fact. Right here. Well,
now watch coming in here now, Holland coming in. Now he comes across him there, see? He may have caught him there.
Yeah. It's hard to tell.
Mere speculation, but there was a 20-second injury timeout, and now we have a timeout call. So with 9:36 to go in this third period, the Milwaukee Bucks lead it 54-47.
Why are men switching from aerosol hairsprays to Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray?
The pump? Because it doesn't spray any aerosol propellants.
The pump? Well, it costs less to use. Save money.
It's because the pump is stronger. Can hold longer than the best-selling aerosol.
The pump. Vitalis Super Hold Pump Spray. Now with an even finer spray. Why don't you switch from your aerosol to...
The pump. Do, the pump. See what's new today.
Chevrolet introduces a new kind of space vehicle, the new size Malibu wagon. It has a new and very convenient two-way hatch gate and an amazing amount of interior space. You can load the new size Malibu with the tailgate down or with it up, and when you finish loading, there's still ample room for family and friends. Chevy's new size Malibu wagon, it's the kind of friend a modern family can use.
Do you use a separate pot for frying, cooking, and steaming? Well, now there's the new Hamilton Beach Dial-A-Pot. It's 3 pots in one. Dial fry and it fries up your favorite foods fast and crunchy. Dial steam and it steams up the crispiest vegetables and the most delectable seafood. Dial cook and it cooks up everything from soups that simmer to tasty stews. The new energy-saving Dial-A-Pot. It's 3 pots in one. A great gift only from the Hamilton Beach Scoville World of Appliances.
Tuesday, join Bob Hope when the stars come out for the Kraft 75th Anniversary Special. Tuesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central and Mountain Time.
Now look now at the Chicago Bulls bench. There's Artis Gilmore. He's a big man, but here's even a bigger guy.
This guy, he's a fine player. And, of course, if he were still in there for the Bulls, he tore some ligaments in a knee, will be out this year. Tom Borowinkle. He will be out the remainder of the season. Plans on coming back next year. Probably one of the best passing centers to play basketball.
Remember when he and Kareem used to go after each other a little bit, and Dennis Autry. You're talking about some physical battles.
Physical battles, that's for sure. He would help take the pressure off Gilmore this year if he were here and get a little bit more playing time.
All right, the Bulls now trying to make a move. They trail 54-47. Van Leer picked up by Brian Winters. Van Leer dumps it to Holland. And look at Marcus Johnson going for it. Off it comes now to Buckner. Buckner to Winters. And Winters now is starting to hit a bundle.
Well, in that situation, the Bucks run the break very nicely, and of course, they spend a lot of time on it because Don Nelson believes in it. And Brian Winters was actually the trailer then. The Bucks look for the trailers oftentimes rather than the front men on the break.
He now has 10 points for the afternoon. Mickey Johnson. Gilmore trying to go after Buckner, saves it in, but Scott May's got it. May, follow away. Hey, Myers, and Myers hits the deck. Off to Buckner. This is a physical game, and we expect it. Here's Johnson again. Van Leer's got it. I think we're in the playoffs the way they're going after each other right now.
Well, they are going at a lot of contact. Good hustle by Norm Van Leer there, and he comes up with the ball. You can see the Bucks turn it over. Marcus Johnson picking it up, but look who's in there. Norm Van Leer again.
And it'll be Van Leer going up against Quinn Buckner. Buckner gets it out to Brian Winters. Winters. Look at that move inside by Johnson.
Well, Gilmore came over to help out, which is very smart of Artis, but Marcus double pumping. You know, one thing, when he gets around the basket, he puts up shots that the defensive players, I'm sure, just are not aware of the fact that he's going to get it off, and he puts it in.
15 points now. There's Gilmore pushing on Giannelli, broken up by Winters. Gilmore going after it. It is tough in there right now. It's brutal. Here's Holland. And that'll be Mickey Johnson.
Now there's Mickey Johnson. Mickey a little flat so far today, but he does a fine job normally of getting that offensive board, and that time he really got in there and got the 2.
He has 8 points. He comes in here just under a 20-point average. That's 19th best in the NBA, so he can score. Myers outside, 58-45 our score. Johnson, and Marcus Johnson trying to get it to go. Mickey Johnson instead comes away with it. 6'10", and look at him handle the ball. He's a deceptive 6'10".
Yes, he could be a guard, I believe.
Coming out to pick him up is Marcus Johnson. Here's Gilmore, and he's being kind of shoved around in there. Scott May blocked from behind by Brian Winter.
Well, again, the Bulls running that set play where the ball goes into Gilmore, and they split off of him, and they bring either a guard or a forward around, and that time it was Scott May.
We are going to reset the shot clock. Now, wait a minute. Why'd they do that? It was 9 seconds on the shot clock. Now they've reset it to 24. And Don Nelson wants to know.
I got the same question you do, Gary.
Now they've reset it, John. It's back to 9. So it's 9 seconds. There's Don Nelson. Boy, what a job he's done since taking over last year.
He's done a good job. And, of course, last year he took over during the season. This year he's had the club from day one, and he says that's helped quite a bit.
Here's Gilmore, and he can bring him back if they keep getting that ball inside to him. He has 18 points, 58-51, 7-point lead now for the Bucks. And we've got a foul.
Van Leer strikes again. You saw the mismatch there. Van Leer got off on Gianelli, but Norm again drawing the foul because he knows he has a mismatch. He's going to have to try to draw it the best way he can. You can see here a lot of body contact.
That's the first on Gianelli. As Van Leer picked up by Winters, he uses a pick. And we're going to have a foul coming up again on the Bucks. Van Leer starting to make some things happen.
Well, the fans here are not too happy with that, but that was a good call. Norm Van Leer got to the baseline. Gianelli coming over to help out, but he really doesn't have position. You can see he leans into Van Leer. Right in your lap.
We almost lost a cameraman on that one. 58-51. Van Leer to Holland. Holland with that left-handed shot. Rebound, Marcus Johnson. Buckner. Nice pass that time. Blocked by Gilmore. The scramble on, and here comes Van Leer again, and what a job he's doing. Scott May and his former Indiana teammate is fouling.
Bulls coming out there. Gilmore making a good effort at the other end. Van Leer coming up with the ball again and initiating the break for the Bulls.
Well, we've got a timeout called now by the Milwaukee Bucks. So with 6:43 to go in this third period. Fast and furious action here. The Bucks have a 7-point, 58-51 lead.
The Kellys have a way to save gasoline from the ground up. A steel-belted radial called the Kelly Gas Pincher. When we tested a set of gas pinchers against our non-radials, the gas pincher pinched from 14.5 up to 31.7 more miles out of a tank of gas. That's hundreds of more miles a year with the gas pinchers.
Je m'appelle Boum Boum Chaffrion.
Je m'appelle Jacques Plante.
Nous sommes tous deux des anciens joueurs de hockey.
Et nous buvons la bière light de Miller.
Oui, nous buvons light parce qu'elle a un tiers moins de calories que leur bière régulière. Elle est moins rassasiante.
Non, nous la buvons parce qu'elle a un goût magnifique.
Elle est moins rassasiante.
Goût magnifique.
Elle est moins rassasiante.
Goût magnifique.
Sacré bleu.
Imbécile.
You believe this guy?
Tu chavires.
Mais t'es un fou.
Passe la
La bière light de Miller. Tout ce que vous désirez d'une bière, et moins.
The Dutch Masters buyers are in France for the international auction of rare African Cameroon tobacco. There are two secrets they must keep to win some of the best leaf for Dutch Masters. The exact leaf they want and the price they'll pay.
It's a nice color.
When their bid is opened by the French auctioneers, they'll learn if they've won some of the best.
Acheteur Dutch Masters.
Taste the taste the world competes for in a Dutch Masters Cameroon cigar. There really are masters at Dutch Masters.
Next Saturday at 5 o'clock on the CBS Sports Spectacular, we have the Hollywood Stunt Competition. Exciting stunts performed by 8 of the best stuntmen in Hollywood.
7 men and a woman were in the competition. It'll be interesting.
You know that Hal Needham, he is something. He's become a director now, but I understand he's come out of retirement to appear again on that. Next Saturday at 5 Eastern Time on the CBS Sports Spectacular. Look at that. All right. I'll tell you, they're playing to what, about 96% capacity here at the Milwaukee Arena. The fans have been piling in.
Well, it's the smallest arena in the NBA right now, 10,900, but they're performing 96, sometimes approaching 97% capacity.
Well, Scott May puts them both through, and it's now 58-53, 6:40 to go, third quarter. Buckner and Winters, Johnson, Myers, Giannelli. That's still the 5 in there for Don Nelson's Bucks. Myers wide open. Well, they worked that very well.
Well, it's a double screen for Dave Myers, and that's a shot he worked on all summer. He worked on his outside shooting and his post-up game, and it's helped him quite a bit.
Boy, he was a disappointed young man last year, that knee problem. Here's Gilmore inside. They're really collapsing on him. He's going to get one up anyway. Scott May follows.
Oh, boy, that was a fine effort by Scott. He hung around the boards there because of the double team on Gilmore, and of course, poor Artis, he must see hands in his sleep.
11 points now for Scott May, 60-55, a 5-point advantage for the Bucks, and you can see Buckner quarterbacking the team. And as he goes inside, a whistle. I believe we're going to have.
Fouls on number 12.
It's going to be Holland that committed the foul as Buckner ducks in on the play.
Well, this is what Buckner wants to do. He says he had a slump there for a while. He was not going to the basket. In the last game the Bucks had against Denver, and today he's decided I'm going to go to the basket, and it, of course, pays off for the Bucks.
Now, this guy has a tough time at the line. He's shooting 65%.
That's pretty much psychological, too. Fundamentally, his shot is pretty sound, and it's just a matter of practicing a lot. Any free throw shooter that is not that good, all he has to do is put enough practice in, and he should improve.
7 points for Buckner, and you see the full court pressure now by Milwaukee.
The Bucks go into a full court zone press there for a moment with a point man being Dave Myers.
61-55, Van Leer with Williams, or Winters, I should say, on him. And we've got a loose ball foul. Scott May unhappy about that one.
Right now in the game, in this quarter that is, the Bulls shooting 38% while the Bucks are shooting 50%, and the Bulls are going to have to start putting the ball in a little bit better.
61-55, Winters off Giannelli. Back to Brian Winters. He's had a hot hand in the second half.
Well, that's a set play. The Bucks run for Brian Winters, and it's a back screen with the center making the pass. The back screen set by the forward.
Look at that game, Philadelphia. Boy, Billy Cunningham has that crew going, doesn't he? There's Gilmore, won't go for him. Van Leer changed it. What a pass that was. I don't know where he saw Holland, do you?
I sure don't. I'm watching the contact between Giannelli and Gilmore. It's pretty fierce.
12 points now for Wilbur Holland, 63-57. I don't know how Van Leer spotted him on the wing area like that. Here's Winters off Giannelli, picked up by Gilmore. Winters, who's been getting open in that area, tries another one, and he's been fouled.
Well, in that play, the Bucks tried to come back with the same play that Brian Winters scored on before, but the Bulls smartened up to it, played some fine defense, took him out of it, and then Brian Winters just going one-on-one.
Well, there's a Milwaukee Buck fan. I just met your young daughter and son a while ago. They came by, and your wife. That, by the way, is the 4th foul on Van Leer. Winters with another shot coming, 64-57. Winters bringing this ball club around here in the third quarter. He has 13 points. 64-57, just inside. 5 minutes to go in the third period. Van Leer picked up by Winters. Trying to get into Gilmore. Johnson didn't have the ball all that much, has he?
No, he hasn't. Of course, there, the Bucks played good defense on him, but Mickey does a good job of getting inside. You see the Bucks fast break, Buckner advancing the ball, and of course, Winters and Marcus Johnson filling the lanes very nicely.
That's what Buckner does so well. You get a break going down the floor, he can really control it for you.
Well, it's his kind of game, a wide open game and pressure defense.
Scott May, Myers picks him up. That's going to be a tough shot. Rebound, moment for Johnson. Here they come again. They got 4-on-1, and here's Myers. Woo!
That was a 4-man fast break on one. I guess because the ball came out so far, but the Bulls must be aware of getting back and stopping the Bucks break. Look at this. Woo! Looks like a sprint for the money here.
I would think that he was just a little bit outmanned under there. So the timeout is called by Chicago. They now trail 68-57.
See what's new today.
Chevrolet announces a lot more Chevette for a lot less money. New Chevette standard equipment includes a radio, reclining bucket seats, white wall tires, console, sports steering wheel, a 1.6-liter engine, 18 new standard features in all, plus a wide hatch, carpeting, front disc brakes, rack and pinion steering, and more. The 78 Chevy Chevette. A lot more car for a lot less money.
Well, the weather up here is tough on everything.
We kind of feel good that you have a diehard.
You need a good battery in the city of Anchorage.
In Anchorage, they buy more diehards than any other battery.
I think the diehard was probably designed with Anchorage in mind.
Yeah, we depend on the diehard.
Turns that motor over just fantastic.
And so far, Sears diehard battery has been a good battery for me.
The diehard, with extra power to start your car when most batteries won't.
Turn the key over and it goes, you know that?
Sold only at Sears.
What are you waiting for?
Right now, save $50 on a color TV from Sears.
What are you waiting for?
It's on sale for just $339.95. You get a 19-inch super black matrix picture tube for bright, crisp colors, automatic fine-tuning, and a solid-state chassis, all for $339.95. You save $50 at Sears. So, what are you waiting for?
What are you waiting for?
On Tuesday, January 31st, we're going to have the premiere of a new weekly series called the Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes. Celebrities going one-on-one to determine who's the real sport.
The following celebrities will be competing. Buddy Hackett, Adrienne Barbeau, Suzanne Summers. Oh, let me stop right there.
William Shatner from Star Trek will be there. Reggie Jackson hit those 3 home runs in that final World Series game. That's Tuesday, January 31st, starting at 8 o'clock Eastern, the Celebrity Challenge of the Sexes on CBS Sports. We're back here with 3:55 to go, third quarter. 68-57, the Bucks with the lead, and they were starting to make a move. The Bulls had called timeout. Gilmore has it partially blocked by Marcus Johnson. We're going to check a score on New York and Denver. Boy, that's a tight one. The Knicks hanging in there tough.
Well, of course, they're playing much better now. Denver coming off of a 10-game win streak when the Bucks beat them just recently here in Milwaukee. You look at big artist Gilmore, 22.9 average. Wow. He's quite a player, and he's playing very well. And the Bucks now not only double teaming, but oftentimes triple teaming with the weak side help.
Artis Gilmore with a pair of free throws coming, fouled while shooting. Boy, he just tried to stuff that one away and ran into somebody en route.
They're pretty even on turnovers. Both clubs have 13 for the game.
20 points now for Gilmore, 68-59. Abe Myers to Buckner. Don Nelson's gone with his lineup about the entire second half. He made a lot of changes in the first half. That's off of Milwaukee, Chicago's ball.
The Bucks then trying to post up Marcus Johnson and just threw the ball away. Bad pass, shouldn't have happened.
Holland picked up now by Buckner. Into the big guy again. They're going to try to come back on the strength of him. Rebound Ginelli, who's posted up well against him. Off it comes to Winters. Winters to Buckner. Ginelli has it. Quinn will try. Well, going to give off to Marcus Johnson. Marcus Johnson doesn't play like a rookie, does he? He just seems to have the confidence of 3 or 4 years in this league.
There are a few other players in the league this year that play the same way also.
There's a steal by Johnson. He's doing it all. Winters again. Back to Marcus Johnson. Johnson going to try for 2 more. Here comes Scott May, broken up by Buckner.
Look at that. Quinn Buckner again. Boy, he really has a nose for the ball. He plays the passing lanes, and of course that time just takes the ball away.
You don't think that wasn't some Indiana team? May, Buckner, Benson, Wilkerson. They had some players.
I know it was an Indiana team.
Old Hoosier himself.
That's right.
There's Gilmore. Mickey Johnson following. Well, they're having to work for everything they get.
Now, Mickey getting on that offensive board a lot better this second half. And again, I want to mention, he does it very well.
Now, Don Nelson's up saying, let's set it up now. Slow it down a little bit. Detroit and New Orleans. Well, the Pistons leading the Jazz.
Have a lot of close ones today.
Yes, we do. Here's Johnson again. Quinn Buckner, they're going to give him that shot, it looks like. He's missed on a couple of them outside.
Now, something interesting here, the team fouls. The Bulls will go into the penalty situation on the next Bucks foul. You see Wilbur Holland going all the way. Now, the Bucks should not allow that to happen. Someone should prevent this. A player should never dribble the length of the court and get all the way into the basket. Wilbur does it.
72-63, and Winters backing inside, and he's guilty of fouling. Ryan Winters backed in and commits the foul, and the Bulls will have the basketball. Nick Weatherspoon now checking back into the Chicago lineup, and Scott May will exit. But still, the Bulls continue to go with that 5 that they opened the second half with. They're making a move, and Nelson now is continuing to stay with them. Here's Mengelt, who's checked in. Winters on him. And a charging foul on Mengelt.
Well, Johnny forced that shot. He took a good charge at the other end of the court and made a nice play, but that time they ran a screen, which is a double. It was a pick and roll with Mengelt coming over and a double on the weak side, but then he just forced the ball up, and he really shouldn't have done that.
Junior Bridgman, number 2, has replaced Quinn Buckner at guard. So Bridgman and Winters in the backcourt now for the Bucks. 1:18 to go, third quarter, 72-63. Winters almost palmed the basketball, broken up, and here comes Holland. And Ginelli's fouled him.
Can you believe that little guy was almost out of a job? That's hard to believe. Not only can he shoot the ball, but he takes a lot of steals away from the offensive team because, like in that situation, he played the passing lane, took the ball, and went all the way to the length of the court again.
All right, the penalty is now in. They're over the limit. 3 to make 2 now for Holland. Holland could fly. Got down there in a hurry on that break.
Listen, those little guys have to be able to fly to get away from all those thundering hoops.
Well, this young man played at New Orleans, a small college All-American, was at Atlanta, was cut free and found a job, averaging over 17 points a game this year, about 15 last year, so he's picked up his offensive output. 16 points here this afternoon, 72-65. Ginelli, who's been playing very tough against Gilmore. He's made him work for everything. And coming around is Bridgman.
Foul.
It's going to be Mengelt picking up the foul. You know, Mengelt, we talked about Grunfeld. Mengelt was a football player. He played some football in college. And he is a kind of a fire plug out there. He's from Auburn, 7th-year man, picked up from the Detroit Pistons. Here's Myers looking inside. Ginelli, Gilmore can let him take it.
Now the Bucks went into a play there where it was a double screen, and the third player comes down, and he has the option to go either way. Well, 2 players went baseline, and that left Gianelli to pop out for the jump shot.
74-65. Gilmore trying to get it into Johnson. And it's off to Mickey Johnson.
Well, that was a difficult pass to handle. Mickey did a fine job of slicing through the weak side and finding himself open. Actually, Gilmore got the ball to him, but Mickey couldn't handle onto it.
26 seconds now remaining in this third period. And now the Bucks are going to slow it down, take some time, work that shot clock down. And Holland's giving Winters some problems. Look at that move. Winters now with 14 points, and he's been a big story in this third quarter for Milwaukee. 4 seconds left now before the end of the period. Mengelt not going to get it off in time. That will not count. So the third period is over here at the Milwaukee Arena. The Bucks have taken a very impressive lead, 76-65. We'll be back with the fourth quarter in a moment.
Pepsi way. Come on and have a Pepsi day. You found a place to celebrate. Pepsi's cold food is great. Come on and have a Pepsi day. You're the Pepsi generation. A Pepsi day.
The NBA on CBS will continue after this word from your local station. Edith's elderly aunt pays a visit, and it may be permanent, leaving Archie in a stew on All in the Family, tonight on CBS.
number 22, Alex English, returning to the Bucks lineup.
All right, Gary Bender, John McLaughlin, the Milwaukee Arena. Be sure and stay tuned now for the MVP award at the conclusion of this game, as John and I will be scrutinizing this last quarter to find out who will be our MVP. As we come back at 76-65, the Bucks with the lead. Pondexter now in at the pivot, gives off to Holland. Holland against Junior Bridgman. Rebound Myers. That's a tough shot, a follow away like that.
It sure is, but he's made it often enough that he knows I'll put it up.
Here's Myers faking Pondexter.
Oh, well, tough shot.
Myers telling you, Evans, he got hit too. He wanted that call. He wanted a three-point play.
He was lucky to get two, perhaps, on that one. Woo.
8 points now for Dave Myers. 78-65. Bulls in danger of having their 5-game winning streaks now.
Now with Pondexter in the game, they pull him out high and they go to a post up, as you can see Mickey Johnson. Holland comes off of a screen down by Mickey. Mickey then gets the post up because Holland dumped it back in.
And Johnson at 6'10" can play in there. He has 12 points. Alex English in the game to Myers again. Try it again, can't get it. And here comes Mengel. Broken up by Winters, hustling back on defense. It's going to be Milwaukee's ball.
Now that time, Johnny Mengel really probably should have gone to Wilbur Holland. You must know who you have on the breaks, and of course you have Pondexter on the other side, and you really don't want the big guy handling the ball out there. You want the guard to.
10:52 to go in this game. Myers off to Alex English. Boy, he had a fine first half of play, hitting his first 3 shots, and he's coming right back again.
Well, he can shoot under pressure very nicely, and in around that 15-foot range, he's deadly.
11 points for Alex English from South Carolina. Broken up, here comes Myers. Weatherspoon just didn't throw it to anybody, and they walk to the ball.
That's a good call. Dave a little upset. It is a good call. Of course, Holland stepped in there to break that up. The Bulls having that turnover, that was really a bad turnover. They just didn't connect with one another visually there, and apparently they did turn the ball over. They cannot do that a lot, Gary, and get back in this game.
You know, you talk about the Bucks. Everybody said they're a team of the future, but they're playing like a team of the present. As Johnson goes up, but he's guilty of fouling. In other words, I think start of the year they thought if they could be competitive, but they're more than that. If you ended today, they would be in the playoffs.
Well, that's right. You see Mickey Johnson going in. Marcus coming from the weak side to help out and drawing or taking the foul or committing the foul, that is. That's right. I don't think early in the year that if you ask many of the people with the Bucks organization, they thought their club would have the record they have right now. Most of them would probably say, no, probably not play that well, and they're very pleased with it, and now they're making a run for the playoffs.
Marcus Johnson checks out of the game. He has 4 fouls, and Ernie Grunfeld has replaced him at forward as Mickey Johnson's at the line.
Now, I think for the Bulls, for them really to close the gap here, what they must do is, number one, do what Mickey Johnson just did very well. Go to the basket. Try to draw the foul, put the pressure on the Bucks. Also, they must intensify their defense and try to make the Bucks turn the ball over.
14 points for Mickey Johnson, 80-69, the Bucks with the lead. Dave Myers, Alex English. Grunfeld, who just checked in, the rookie from Tennessee. Junior Bridgman, fine play. Very fine pass.
Well, the Bucks playing smart right now, and that they know that they have Junior Bridgman who can post up even on forwards. You have John Mengel on him. John Mengel playing in front, you can see here, not getting the weak side help until a little too late. A nice pass to Junior, and he lays it in.
Bridgman had 21 points in a game Tuesday night against the New Jersey Nets. He's come off the bench time and time again. He has only 2 here. What a valuable guy to have on your roster.
You know, he's really worked hard, too, because he was a natural forward when he came here, and he's had to work on playing the guard game. As you see the Bucks here going into a little bit of a zone press with Alex English back with the guards.
There's a steal by Myers. Broken up by Van Leer. Van Leer just never stops hustling. Off it comes to Mengel. Mengel to Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon's got it again. That's tenacity.
Boy, he's hanging in there. Of course, the first one didn't go down. You see Norm Van Leer come up and forcing Junior Bridgman into a travel situation. He's everywhere, that Norm Van Leer.
Isn't he? 83-71, the Bulls of the ball. 9.5 minutes to go in this game. These two teams battling for that second place spot in the Midwest Division. Here's Weatherspoon. He's got 2 to go for him now.
There's another guy that can post up, and of course the Bulls now trying to go to the percentage shots, percentage basketball.
Weatherspoon, the all-time leading scorer at the University of Illinois. Bounced around a little bit last year. Washington, Seattle, and now with the Chicago team. Let's check another score. Golden State, ooh, boy, the 76ers are putting it on them right now.
Well, they just throw the ball up and go for it. They need 3 or 4 basketballs with the talent they have on that team.
Out of bounds now. Grunfeld will bring it in to Brian Winters. 9:11 to go in this game. Winters driving. Weatherspoon has fouled him. Nick Weatherspoon trying to come over. Now wait a minute. Don Nelson's up. What's all this discussion about?
You can see here a pick set on Norm Van Leer, and Landsberger really didn't give the help that he should have because his man was the one that set the screen on Van Leer.
Now Ed Badger's over here, and Jerry Sloan. Boy, Sloan is really upset. I don't know what that's all about, John.
I'm not sure either. We're going to have to pick that up. Apparently, the Bulls felt the foul should have been on the Bucks. I don't know. Apparently, they thought Brian Winters committed a charge, and now they're reversing decisions. Sloan very upset about it. He's volatile. You know, that's the way the guy played the game.
He came charging over there like he's going to steal the ball. Jerry Sloan and Ed Badger, Don Nelson, John Kelly, all up over there. Jake O'Donnell now, along with Hugh Evans, trying to get some order back in the Milwaukee Arena.
You look at Jerry, and he gets fired up.
He is.
You know, it's hard to believe. You know, this guy collects antiques and pottery and old toys. You know, that sounds like that would be a very meek person doing that. And Jerry out there. Whew. But we still haven't. Apparently there were 6 players on the floor for Chicago, and the Bulls contested it. They said they did not have.
Boy, you don't hear that very often. I don't think I've ever heard of that.
That's a football
mistake,
12 men on
the field.
You know about that, right?
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's what the discussion was all about.
The foul was on Weatherspoon. That was his 3rd personal.
And then now we're going to have the free throw being shot on the foul, the other one being the technical. Too many people on the floor. I tell you, I've never heard that.
Well, apparently Landsberger came in the game before he should have. They had 6 players on the floor, but he really wasn't obviously on the floor. We would have picked that up. Apparently he was just not completely off at the time, and they haven't heard that called too many times.
18 points a game now for Brian Winters after he cashes in on those 3 free throws. And here comes Bridgman back. Buck's going to try to blow this one wide open. 9:01 to go in it. Winters outside. He's got 20 points.
Well, that was just a tough shot. Van Leer played good defense. You can't ask him to do any more defensively, but Brian can shoot with people on him as well as anyone in basketball.
You see Landsberger, 54, had just handed off to Van Leer. Van Leer going inside. Boy, that's a tough one. Tipped up by Weatherspoon. Nick Weatherspoon follow-tipped. He has 8 points. He's given them some firepower since coming into this game. 88-75.
Basket credited to Weatherspoon.
Grunfeld picked up by Weatherspoon. Weatherspoon not a very big guy as far as weight is concerned, but a good rebounder. Here's Winters again.
There it is again. Apparently on that little disturbance, Mickey Johnson just was not completely off the floor, as I said, and they called it.
Too many men on the floor. That may be a first here. Here's Van Leer picked up by Winters. Norm Van Leer, who doesn't shoot outside all that much, gets that one. 90-77. Hey, these Milwaukee Bucks, they scored 152 points in one game this year. They can put them up in a hurry, and they're going to have a go to the century mark early in this game. It's going to be Chicago's basketball as Artis Gilmore will check back in. Dave Myers is coming out. Gianelli comes in. We have English, Gianelli, Grunfeld, Winters, and Junior Bridgman. And look at that one. Is that a tight one? Denver, New York, all tied up.
Can't get much tighter.
Van Leer outside. He hit one a while ago. Here's Gilmore, who just checked in, and look at him. He's playing volleyball up there.
Well, they've got a number of opportunities to score then, and normally a pro team gets that many shots at the basket. One will go down.
Here's Bridgman on the drive, and Mengelt is guilty of fouling. Mengelt did not have position on the play.
Well, the Bucks keeping that pressure on the Bulls. They're running well today. They did not run that good against the Bucks or against the Bulls in their last encounter today. They've decided to come out and play their game, obviously, and run the ball.
3rd foul on Mengelt. That's the 4th team foul now against the Bulls.
That's right, and the Bucks only have one team foul thus far in the game, so that could be a factor to hurt the Bulls.
Winters into Alex English. And English has a nice shot. Rebound cleared by Gianelli against Big Gilmore.
Well, he got Artis off his feet, and that's about the only thing you can do. If you don't draw him off and try to put the ball back up, he's going to knock it in the 5th row at the other end.
Weatherspoon coming right back. Rebound by Bridgman. We haven't seen Kent Benson today. Gianelli's played well. Starting 17 straight. Grunfeld.
Kent Benson, you referred to him. He's had a knee problem. He says he can play on it, but it's having some difficulty. He has a brace on it. And just is having quite a bit of problems with injuries.
Well, this sellout crowd here in the arena, partisan Bucks crowd, very, very happy as we have a timeout. The Bucks lead it 94-77.
Here's to good friends. Tonight is kind of special.
Tomorrow we go back to civilization.
And let's have a last night in the wilderness party.
Yeah, great idea. I've got just what we need.
So tonight.
Hey, Lowenbrow. You've been hiding that all week. I was waiting for the right moment.
When you want the taste of a truly great beer, tonight, let it be Lowenbrow.
Well, like the song says, here's to good friends.
Let it be Lowenbrow.
This is the world's most revolutionary telephone switching invention. We call it Super Switcher. It handles 4 times more calls and may save us $1 billion a year. Just imagine that each of these cars is a long-distance call. Super Switcher could handle 5 days' traffic on a busy LA freeway. That ought to prevent traffic jams on your long-distance calls.
Bell System Technology, keeping your phone system the best in the world.
Say what's new today in a Chevrolet.
Chevy's all-new Malibu has all kinds of good news for here and now. Good news about fuel economy. 29 miles per gallon here on the highway, 21 here in the city. It's here and now. There's also good news about room here on the inside, here in the trunk. It's here and now. The all-new Malibu. It's here at your Chevy dealers now.
The Milwaukee Bucks are putting it together here in this third quarter play. They have a 94-77 lead, and I don't think Don Nelson has too much to talk about. He can't say much when you're playing like that.
Well, you could say just one thing. Keep doing it.
Keep doing what you're doing, right? Artis Gilmore, early in the game, he was certainly a dominating force, but in this third quarter, the Bucks have been running the ball very well. Now for a report on the New York game at Denver. Let's go to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Denver.
Welcome to those of you who have just joined us. Watching the Milwaukee-Chicago game, the team you're chasing, Denver and White on defense. They lead it by 2. It's the Nuggets 94, the New York Knicks 92. I'm Brent Musburger along with Keith Erickson, and you recognize the Pearl. Monroe dishing off to Clemens. Now it's Jimmy McMillan. Double team, staying with it. 3-second violation. It'll go to the Nuggets, who are up by 2. 10 minutes and 48 seconds to go.
I'll tell you what these Denver Nuggets do. In the fourth quarter, they start playing that defense. They played it pretty well the first 3 quarters. In the fourth quarter here at home, they really put the pressure on. They look to take advantage of every mistake the other team makes.
All right, Keith, let's keep an eye on that. Now they're on offense. Whistle uses the glass. It's a 4-point lead. Now they'll come down, and let's see what kind of defensive pressure they apply to the Knicks. They'll try to force them to set up outside.
This is a crucial point in the game for the Knicks. I think they've got to get McAdoo back in the game. Get their scorers back in there, McAdoo and Hayward.
And no sooner do you say that, Keith Erickson, than Lonnie Shelton. Spencer Haywood reappears. Now McAdoo with 4 fouls, still on Willis Reed's bench. Toby Knight and Phil Jackson are out. 10-17 to go. It's a 4-point Denver lead. Shelton had it knocked away by Jones. Clemens regains. Spencer's alone. And they stayed right with him underneath. And it'll go to Denver.
That's the team defense of these Denver Nuggets again. Now watch David Thompson down here. Haywood gets by Issel, and Thompson comes over to help out. That's that team defense. Otherwise, Haywood would have had an automatic.
Technical on Willis Reed, and he is upset. Here comes Willis. Hugh Hollins tried it. And Willis Reed has been assessed for the technical foul. That's the second technical call against the Knicks. One was against Earl Monroe in the first half. David Thompson hits the free throw. It's a 5-point lead, and it is down to the crunch for the Knicks.
Ball still in the backcourt.
There's 22 seconds right now on the shot clock. Thompson inside of 10, 97-92. Nuggets lead the Knicks. And Monroe now starting out against Wilkerson.
Welcome to the fans that have just joined us here in Cleveland. The Cavaliers trail the Hawks 85-84. Cavaliers at the foul line out in the gold uniforms, the Hawks in red. Trying to tie the game is Campy Russell. We have 3:55 remaining. And this game is tied. 85-85, 3:52 to play. Jim Carvelis, Mendy Rudolph, Richfield, Ohio. Tree Rollins inside Johnny Drew. Good fake, Johnny Drew. Elmore Smith with the rebound. Off Frazier. Frazier loves this time of a ball game. Driving shot, Campy Russell. Campy Russell. The Cavs by 2, 87-85, 18 for Campy. There's little Charlie Chris. Cavaliers trailed at halftime by 7. They tied it after the third period. Has been back and forth in this fourth period. Armin Hill had it blocked by Elmore Smith. Here comes Clyde Frazier with 3:13. And the Cavs by 2. Austin Carr. Pause, a tough rebound. Cavaliers lead the Hawks 87-85, 3 minutes to go in the game, and a great driving shot by Armin Hill. And the game is tied.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. This is Gary Bender with John McLaughlin. Our score, Milwaukee 100, the Chicago Bulls 82. As we have 3 minutes and 24 seconds remaining in the fourth period of play. And John, Milwaukee has just made a cakewalk of it here in the fourth quarter.
Well, the Bucks playing as well as they've played all year. And I think Chicago really not playing that badly at all. The Bucks just getting hot, getting a lot of rebounds, and more importantly to them, running their break just very well.
Quinn Buckner with a basketball, and he adds to that advantage.
I really haven't seen the Bucks post up Quinn Buckner as many times as they've done it today, and he's hit probably about 80% of the post-ups.
Alex English going for the steal. Well, earlier this year in the first game, the Bucks won 113-95 over Chicago. Second game, it was the Bulls winning 128-111. And right now, the Bucks are trying to take this one, the third meeting with this 102-82 lead.
This signal is searching for a General Electric VIR color TV. The signal's VIR. It lets broadcasters automatically control the color of your TV picture on many programs. Watch this GE VIR set use the signal and automatically adjust flesh tones, background colors, the entire color picture. VIR. And General Electric has just won an Emmy for being the first to use VIR in television sets. This is GE Performance Television.
Guilty. Not guilty. 6 votes guilty, 6 votes not guilty.
Molly, Jim.
This could go on all day. Bailiff! Pass out the Right Guard deodorant.
Good.
We got stick or spray. Right Guard deodorant has all-day odor protection. Kills bacteria that can cause odor. Stick or spray protects all day. 6 took stick, 6 took spray. It's unanimous.
Right Guard deodorant. Don't get dressed without it.
Excuse me, sir. I'd like you to try something.
Okay.
Hold out your hand.
Hey, what is that?
That's Track 2 shave cream, and that's another brand. Feel any difference?
The Track 2 feels heavier.
That's because the Track 2 is heavier. It's packed with moisturizers.
Moisturizers?
They help hold the moisture in your skin, so your face feels good after you shave.
After I
It'll
shave?
feel soft and moisturized.
Great. Wait, what do I do now?
Shave.
Track 2, heavy with moisturizers.
All right, we pick it up now with 2:50 to go in the game. Numerous substitutions for both clubs. Tate Armstrong tries one. Junior Bridgman comes away with the rebound. Kent Benson now has made his first appearance in the game. The rookie from Indiana, the #1 pick in all the NBA draft. John, has he been disappointing, or what do you think about Kent Benson?
I really don't think so. He's really had some injuries. He got hit in the face, missed a number of games. Here you see Buckner going baseline, getting inside. Then he had Bob McAdoo fall on his leg, and he's tore some ligaments in an ankle, and he's been having knee problems, so the poor guy really hasn't been available that often.
And Milwaukee just continues to run the ball down Chicago's throats. They are really moving the ball in a hurry.
Well, it's just a reversal of the game in Chicago the last week when the Bulls ran it down the Bucks' throats.
There's Armstrong. He can shoot. He's been hitting extremely well from the field the last 4 outings. 106-84. Inside, 2 minutes to go in this one. Buckner to Grunfeld. Junior Bridgman. Boy, he's got a nice shot. Bridgman, picturesque shot. He has 8 points. There's Ed Badger. He can't be too happy about what's happened here this afternoon. Well, the Bulls had lost 5 in a row, then they won 5 in a row. They've been kind of unpredictable at times.
Well, and even at that, even the ones they lost, they were on the West Coast, and they played pretty well then, even in the losses.
They lost a tough one to Portland, and I understand that shook them up.
They were all close games, and they felt that, when you go to the West Coast, it's very difficult to win out there.
Looking ahead next week in the NBA on CBS, we're going to have Los Angeles and Washington, and John, you're going to be out in Denver for that Philly game.
Well, that will be an interesting game. 2 very fine teams, and I'll be out there with Tim Ryan.
And then also Cleveland against Detroit, and Houston squares off against the world champion Portland Trail Blazers, who are picking up where they left off a year ago.
And you play them in Portland, you might as well forget it.
This is Landsberger out to Armstrong. 122 blocked by Bridgman. Benson brings it off to Junior Bridgman.
He's played quite a game defensively. He's sure the points are obvious, but he's done a good job of going to the offensive boards. And then in that situation there, Armstrong got by him, but with his jumping ability, that's Junior Bridgman, he was able to still block the shot.
He has 10 points. Pondexter with Benson all over him. Here's Landsberger, the young rookie from Arizona State. He made a nice move inside. He's fouled by Grunfeld.
Now the Bulls then going into the pin-down offense where they bring the center out high, which is what they do so much with Pondexter. The guards go down, the forwards come down, screen for them, and then they roll in front of the basket, which Landsberger did very nicely. He got the ball and made a strong move back away, and of course has a potential 3 points.
I remember Landsberger when he was in Minnesota. They had a guy by the name of Mark Olberding.
Right.
Thomas, you think
Big
they weren't some horses in that Golden Gopher lineup?
Landsberger, we talked about the Olympians. He was an alternate on the Olympic team. He was one of the 15.
He's one of the finest players ever to come out of the state of Minnesota. 110-86. English, backdoor. Boy, that was nice.
Well, this is a play the Bucks run very nicely. It's where they clear out the right side. The guard goes through, sets a back screen on the center. Benson then rolled into the basket and gets the dunk.
And he put it through, didn't he? Here's Steve Shepard, the rookie from Maryland. Pondexter brings it down. And we're going to have a foul coming up.
You see the big guy going to the basket, and of course, in a crucial situation, Alex English just wiped it away, and you wouldn't want to do that because it was a goaltend. Pondexter making a quick move, and I'm sure a lot of people weren't totally aware he could make that move.
Well, this is a guy that played only 1 year of collegiate basketball at Long Beach State, one of the most sought-after high school players. He was a hardship case, came in, had some real problems, but now getting a chance to play.
He's a very smart basketball player. He knows what to do. He's usually in pretty good position. And of course, every club needs smart players.
Off it comes down to Grunfeld with 24 seconds left in this game. English.
Holland again with another steal.
Armstrong. Nice play by their #1 draft pick, Tate Armstrong. 112-90. Bridgman again. Broken up. It's going to be Milwaukee's basketball. So the Bucks have to be pleased with their performance here this afternoon.
Well, it seems like when these two teams play, it's either one team is very good or the other team seems to be off because the winning margin has been pretty wide in all of these games.
Benson missing outside. Here comes the last move down the floor. English steals it. Got it back. Bridgman. That's going to be the game. Is that going to count? No. They will not give him the basket. Well, the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award, John, we've decided goes to Marcus Johnson. Johnson having an outstanding game.
Oh, just tremendous. And, of course, it had to go to him with so many rebounds and so many points and 7 for 7 from the free throw line.
He had 13 rebounds, 3 assists in that game, 2 steals and 3 block shots. So the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship will be awarded to UCLA on the behalf of Marcus Johnson. Good job by the 6'7" rookie from UCLA. 112-90. The Milwaukee Bucks have ended the Chicago Bulls' 5-game winning streak. as they did it most impressively. They started out with a first quarter lead of 27-24. They led after 3 quarters of play, 76-65, and then they just put it away as they got an outstanding second half performance from Brian Winters from outside and Marcus Johnson, who we mentioned just a moment ago. Now for a report on the New York at Denver game. Let's go now to Brent Musburger and Keith Erickson in Denver.